consent between two children. My granddaughter would
Not birds and bees stuff. I mean, actually, toys. That should be nowhere around kids. K through 12. The only thing left now is man-boy love.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families.
Should be used to describe people who are attracted to children.
It's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender.
Okay, friends, let's look at a number of videos today because have you ever asked yourself the question, what's going on with all these LGBTQIA+ individuals exposing themselves to children or pushing the agenda in school, in all these different places? Friends, I'm beginning to realize something that I think is even darker than I ever did before, but I should have known. But look at this. Here is a mother talking. Listen to her argument. We're going to come back and pick up from there and keep building.
My name is Esther Cepeda, 1601 North Dick. April 19th, the situation happened with my granddaughter. We were not informed until 9 days later. I do not see how. You heard my niece, you heard my sister. I do not see how this could be a sexual mutual consent between two children. My granddaughter would not even know what that would be. The way the situation was handled was inappropriate, wrong, disgusting. And you, sir, you know who you are. I'm not going to mention names. Misinformation from the beginning until the end. It was wrong. But you can get away with it because y'all can talk among yourselves. Even a Christian that's on the board can get away with it. I have no respect for somebody that claims to love the Lord. They know what's wrong. I can hide it.
Adam, time's up.
Time's up, ma'am.
It was wrong from the beginning.
Thank you.
You would be fighting if it was any one of your kids, any one of them. I can hide it.
Adam, time's up.
Time's up, ma'am.
It was wrong from the beginning.
Thank you.
You would be fighting if it was any one of your kids, any one of them. But no, you're not fighting because it's not your child. It's not your child.
Wow. So, okay, we're going to come back to this story. What is going on? Why are people exposing children to sexual contents all the time? This story in particular, they had the kids performing the act and they recorded it. That's what was going on. And the parents were not told about this. We're going to talk about this at the end of the video. I'm going to come back to that one. But here is the thing, friends. Here is the thing. You got to understand. Glenn Beck made a statement. I would say, man, he was more right than I thought he was wrong. Look at this. Glenn Beck predicted that word here, pedo, is the next stop on the train. Wow. He predicted that. Now, people made fun of him when he did this. They say, oh, he's ridiculous. He's a fool. Hold on to your seatbelt because I got a video for you today. His name is Jack Reynolds. Listen, I'm going to show you. This is a person who has abused children, and he's going to tell you how he goes about picking his victims. Brace yourself. But now, talking about Glenn Beck, let's take a listen. I'm going to go to Officer Tatum for that one because this video, I couldn't find it anywhere. But let's go to Officer Tatum. Let's take a listen to what Glenn Beck is saying here, and let's come back to react to that. This is Glenn Beck's analogy of what is known as the slippery slope, right? Look at how the slippery slope of sexual orientation or sexual identification, look how far this is going to go.
Glenn, talk about it. Roll the Fizium.
Frog is not involved in this, although he probably gets some money from it. Do you remember when we were arguing back and forth about gay marriage? And I've had the same opinion on gay marriage, I think, my whole life. It's no business of the government. It's no business of the government. Anybody should be able to marry whoever they want. There shouldn't be anything that involves the government on that. But we didn't argue that. Instead, we got into some weird argument, and it ended up that love wins because Americans are compassionate people. But as we were standing here with our children, I know I've said for years, government has no place, and you can't base it on this because that will open up a slippery slope. That, how dare you? This is about love. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. For the average person who is gay and wanted marriage, that's what it was about, but not the money. Notice what happened? Then anybody who made a wedding cake, you had to comply. If you took photographs, if you did flowers, you had to comply. Then the next thing was non-gender bathrooms. And I remember saying, how many people is this affecting at Target all over the country? Really? Then it was shout your abortion. Then Caitlyn Jenner, you had to say she was beautiful. Okay. Then non-gender started being talked about in school. It's not just the trans librarian that came somewhere up here. We started saying that there is no gender and that men can have babies. And then there was Leah Thomas. Everybody can be anything and compete. We've lost the difference between men and women. Now we're into serious sex education. I mean, not birds and bees stuff. I mean, actually, toys that should be nowhere around kids. K through 12. The only thing left now is man-boy love. Or what are they calling it?
Bingo.
Here we are. Here we are. Okay, now let's keep going. Let's keep going. Just in case you think Glenn Beck was going crazy, sometimes he does go crazy. But listen to this individual justifying. You have to understand the idea, the slippery slope concept and how it works. In the hearts of men, we are never satisfied. We always want to take things to the next step, right? And sometimes it goes too far to the point where we can't stop it. But here we are. Listen to this professor now explaining to you the word pedo, which is the term is changing now. It's called MAPS, minor attracted persons. Let's listen to what this is about.
Less stigmatizing than
Should be used to describe people who are attracted to children.
it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors.
But not everyone sees it that way, including people on campus like Andrew Limbakis, president of the ODU College Republicans.
I'm actually thinking about planning a peaceful protest against Alan Walker.
In the interview, Walker stressed child sexual abuse is never okay. They explained there is a difference between attraction and behavior. Walker said there is no morality attached to attraction because that's something we can't help. The Prostasia Foundation's executive director, Jeremy Malcolm, agrees.
What experts like Dr. Walker are saying is that telling these people that they are inherently bad and doomed to offend is counterproductive.
Criticism about Walker's comments prompted ODU and Walker to release statements over the weekend. The statement from the university reads, "An academic community plays a valuable role in the quest for knowledge. A vital part of this is being willing to consider scientific and other empirical data that may involve controversial issues and perspectives."
Now, we are at a point now where people are pushing back against this. But I did do a video. It was like, this person was impersonating Satan, and they were interviewing the individual. And one of the things that was revealed in that video, which I thought was very insightful, was that Satan will eventually desensitize the world to accept the pedo, the MAPS, this new concept is going to be adopted because the world has to be desensitized. And one of the things he says, we're not ready for this yet. So we need to be desensitized before this can be accepted.
Second is pedophilia pride.
Ooh, no. Don't do me that again.
To the church doesn't seem to care.
What did he
And
just say?
second is pedophilia pride.
We are headed there. Now, there's a pushback toward that. But the way they've been infiltrating school and all these books that are coming in, it won't be long because it's going to become normal. It won't be long, friends. We are on our way.
Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off.
Yeah,
I need to desensitize them a little more before we introduce it.
And this is where we are headed, my friend. Now, here is Reno. Okay, this is the man. Listen to what he says. You don't have to believe me. Believe the man. These are the men with the mindset that are pushing this concept. And you also got to understand the LGBTQIA plus, that plus, we don't know what that plus is. We still don't know what that plus is. There's no explanation. In other words, the door is still open for some pluses. Now, if every other sexual orientation has been adopted by that community, why could not the maps be also adapted? If a person can become gay, lesbian, trans, queer, or also drag queen, all of them are adapted in the community of LGBTQIA+. So with the plus, meaning the door is still open, we can still accept some more. Why cannot these individuals be adopted, eventually become normal? You think that's not going to happen? Okay. Listen to this man talking.
How did you get them alone?
Grooming.
What? Okay. So what is going on in school? I showed you a video to start. What was the video that I showed you of these children, things being exposed? I've done countless of video on this channel about children being exposed to sexual content materials in school. That is a norm today. Here is an actual sex offender. Here is a child predator telling you one of the ways we do this thing is by grooming. And I know that's a word on YouTube we're not supposed to be saying. I said it, but let's move on.
I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody. And it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him. For the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into believing, grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come and be molested by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values, weak in education, needs help in many ways, even from split parenting, has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take them away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem. It works.
We're at Target right now.
And there's a lot of
I did actually leave this video right here, and I think this is actually timely. I'm going to share this video in a minute. This is the Target controversy. But there's a part that I want you to see. This Target controversy also is connected to what I'm trying to share with you. Did you hear the words of this man? Now, I will say I'm grateful that he talks about it. He explains it. He's telling you what the mindset is. So none of us could be deceived, okay? Family is key. The condition of the child, how they dress, how they behave, the presence of the father, all these aspects protects the child. And not having these things in place, these individuals, they look to groom and eventually take advantage, and child predators abuse. So the children that are being exposed to sexual content very early at this stage of the world, couple years down the road, my dear friends, we're gonna see some serious child abusiveness taking place. This is a very painful situation. We need to talk about it. Right now, what's going on with the boycott at Target, and Target is pulling back because they realize they're in trouble. I'm going to show you something in this video that is very telling. This is from Black conservative perspective. Love it. Look at this one.
This is cool. Queen, queen, queen. Queens take care of each other. Mom says I'm supposed to be more organized. Can I work on this for my reading log? Perfect for our beach vacation. Dad, can we pull out your CD player? Fit for anyone and everyone? Let's get this for Mom. Live, laugh, Lebanese. Trains and people will always exist.
That's not what it says.
Why would Target hire a Satanist to design their new Pride collection that has now gone viral? This is the designer. This is not a boy. This is a biological woman who has transitioned, who is a Satanist, who Target actually paid and sought out to design the collection. A part of the collection is this t-shirt that says cure transphobia, not trans people, this fanny pack that says we belong everywhere, and this bag along with a couple of other items. But what really disturbs me is the fact that Target hired someone who is a Satanist. This is spiritual warfare. This is good versus evil happening in our country. And this t-shirt right here says it all. Satan respects pronouns. Now, if you look at a lot of the other artwork on the page, it's very sparkly, pastel, cute, very much if a little kid saw this, they would want it. So if you think they're not targeting your kids, make sure that you check again, because they definitely are. And honestly, this just makes me so upset. It makes me sick to my stomach knowing that there are Satanists infiltrating culture. And yet they have the audacity to say that Christians are shoving the Bible down everyone's throats.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you for exposing that. So friends, here is the thing. I'm going to make a detour. We talk about a number of things today. What I'm trying to say is very simple. This ideology is eventually going to go for your children. Okay? That is where Satan wants to take it. Now, that might not be true for everybody who is part of the LGBTQ or any person who is identified as gay or whatever, right? They're having their struggle. Listen, you have your right to be whoever you want to be, even though as a Christian, I do not agree with it because I believe Jesus can save you. That might not be true. And there are other groups like Gay Against Groomers who are coming out speaking against this stuff. They also see it. But there is another thing that we oftentimes overlook, and I think we need to stop overlooking that. There is another group that we oftentimes pacify. We need to stop pacifying them because they are just as guilty. We're talking about the pedo and also the maps. How's it, you know, change the name today, make it sound good. Maps, minor attracted persons, whatever. We want to talk about them as being bad, but there's also another group that is just as wicked. Let me share this with you. 190 Catholic clergy, administrators, ousted as sexual predators in Maryland AG report. Here is the fact, my dear friends. Let's take a listen. You don't have to believe me. You believe the mayor. Listen.
And what we learned is that the incontrovertible history
uncovered by this investigation is one of pervasive, pernicious, and persistent abuse by priests and other archdiocese personnel. It's also a history of repeated cover-up of that abuse by the Catholic Church hierarchy. Unfortunately, most of the abusers and those who concealed their wrongdoing are dead and no longer subject to prosecution. While stories of this abuse have been documented before, we hope to make public for the first time the enormous scope and scale of the abuse and concealment perpetrated by the Archdiocese of Baltimore.
Mercy. Well, this was past. I'll tell you what, it's still prevalent today. Catholic Church child sexual abuse scandal. It's more prevalent than ever before. What's up, little man? Hi. Go wait for me upstairs. I'm coming. I'm finishing the video. How was school? Good. All right, I'll see you upstairs. Now, this is what we are being shown. We're talking about hundreds and thousands of individuals. Look at this. In most recent development, a Deming inquiry found that some 216,000 children in France had been sexually abused by members of the clergy since 1950. Lord, have mercy. Have mercy. And I know a lot of Catholics will stay quiet on these issues. You can't stay quiet. Everybody knows. We all know. And that's a problem. This is one reason why, friends, I had to leave the Catholic Church. Not only there were doctrines that were false, completely false, the worship of Mary, confession to the priest, and all of this stuff, but this was one of those things that I was like, it's a culture. It's a culture. It's not a mistake or one man step out of line. That's not what we're talking about. Culture. When you are in the thousands, friends, when you are in the thousands, you are no longer in a position where people need to tolerate your behavior. But again, there's a video. I'm gonna put this in the description below. Go check it out. This is from Vision Unsealed. Vision Unsealed did an excellent job. The video is so deep. I mean, let you take a peek. It's 18 minutes long, but you will not believe the stuff these men are doing.
By a friar at St. Francis of Assisi. It just make me feel like it's gonna be all right, no matter what I go through.
Yeah. Don't get me started. This is happening in places around the world that they don't get any attention. Over here, you might get a little bit of justice, but in some of these cases that are happening in places around the world, in Africa, in India, in different parts of the world, there's no voice for them.
It's also here that we're hearing whispers of possible new victims. Alban and his father agreed to speak to us about his alleged abuse at the hands of Father Luc Delft. Do you know who this man is?
Luc.
Père Luc?
Père Luc. There is the man. They confronted the man. No, listen.
I want to hear what you have to say about it, Father Delft.
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Nothing.
You're a priest, you're a man of God. These children are accusing you of abusing them, and you have nothing to say for yourself?
No.
Do you know?
Mercy. Mr. Pope Francis. Early blind spot on sex abuse threatened legacy. Whoa. Listen, go check out the video. Because it goes really deep. They even go as far as to show cameras of inside job of these priests participating in those behaviors. They go under. I mean, friends, we can talk all day, all night about some of this stuff. But what I'm trying to say is this is happening in the world, but it's also in the Catholic Church, very prevalent. These two are eventually going to meet. The church has been abusing children for a long time. But what's happening in the world today is being reflected, all right? What's the sense of the world always finds itself at the doors of the church. I hate to say this, but it's true. This might not be true for all churches. Praise God. We have some solid Christians left among us. Amen. We have some people who still believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ who do not do stuff like this. Praise the Lord for that. There is a remnant among the wicked. However, we need to acknowledge, though, this stuff is happening. We need to talk about that. We can't sit here. You know, I love me some Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, and I love these guys. They're all great. But they don't talk very much about this. They just don't touch it. It's one of those subjects that they wish didn't exist. But you need to talk about it. So what's happening to children in this country is wicked, is evil, is wrong. And I think we need to expose, we need to speak, and we need to protect our sons and daughters from wicked men. Friends, if there's anything I could say to this, first of all, pray for your sons and daughters. Pray for your children. We live in a time today where children, their innocence are under attack. All right. There is an enemy who's out to destroy, to steal, to kill, and to destroy them. Be aware of that, live in that reality, and buckle up. Secondly, take your children away from these public schools. All thy children shall be taught of the Lord. Great shall be the peace of thy children. The Lord must be the teacher of your children. That's actually a text for private Christian homeschool or Christian school. God must be the primary teacher of your children. Some of this stuff we are learning in some of these schools, these public schools, they are corrupted. They are not going to change their ways. And that story we heard about earlier, what I started with, this is what it is. Texas first graders allegedly forced girl to perform sex act and recorded it on camera. That's what the mothers were going mad about. That's what these mothers are weeping and crying about. Almost every one of them were crying. And many of these cowards will not do anything. Some of these teachers are unwilling to do anything. They don't want to lose their jobs. They care about more of their reputation than to speak against the corruption. They care about a paycheck, friends. These mothers are weeping and crying about child abuse, sexual act performed and recorded on camera. Okay? And the other children were allowed to see it. They were allowed to see it on their iPads at school with passwords and everything. That's what happened there. That's why these mothers were crying and weeping. And again, let's not forget the sin of the church. We can't cover up. We can't keep covering this up. And if you happen to be a Catholic, you keep covering this up. Shame on you. You gotta talk about this. We need to figure out what's going on here. If I were you, I would leave the Catholic Church altogether. Find another denomination where this is not going on, and also where the Bible is being taught completely. Because one of the teaching in the Catholic Church that's causing this is the teaching that the celibacy teaching. That's not Bible. And some of these men cannot control their passion. And this is the result. I'm going to do a reaction video to this eventually. I'm waiting a little bit longer. But that video is rough and tough, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to get through this thing and walk through it. Some of this stuff is corrupt, is gross, is nasty, is disturbing. But the truth is the truth. When the truth comes out, it is exposing the lie, is because change will take place. And you can buckle up and protect your sons and your daughters from this stuff. And be aware. All this stuff that's going on in the public school is leading right there. The minor attracted person, that new terminology they're now trying to use, is really pedophilia. But they're trying to polish and sanctify it and sanitize it because they know how disturbing and ugly of a thing it is. But nevertheless, friends, you and I need to buckle up, protect our family, pray for our sons and daughters, and be aware of what's going on here. If you can afford a private school, take them out. The public school, put them in a private school. If you can homeschool your children, do it. Do it. But ask questions, know what's going on. Check out the books. Have the conversation with them. And don't trust some of these people. You cannot. This is not a time to be sleeping anymore. It's a time to have your eyes wide open. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Comment below. Share a thought and perspective with me. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.